Welcome back to my Twilight Princess 3 heart run, where as the name suggests, I am attempting to beat the game without collecting a single heart container. Here we pick up from just having beat the forest temple. So now the next thing is to go to Kakariko. So yeah, this rendition of Hyrule Field is iconic to say the least. Obviously in the Wii version I'm used to heading out that way to go to Kakariko. This version, however, we will be heading east, which does more closely align with Ocarina of Time's map. So yeah, now it's time to go wolf again. Yeah, so I guess the story reason why Link is going here is to track down the kids from Ordon. Yep. You gotta zoom that camera out. That's another difference with the Wii version, is the Wii version just handles the camera for you most of the time. Like for instance with these Twilight Beast encounters, the Wii version will commonly pull the camera out for you. This is another unique puzzle that the second and third Twilight sections sort of adds, where you have to go back into the normal world, so to speak, and you have to find some solution to an issue in the Twilight world. So obviously there was a bridge missing near Kakariko, so an astute player would remember this bridge, which showed up just outside of the forest temple here, and now we can use it to cross the gap. Obviously if you don't get much out of the Twilight sections, then this will probably be more of an annoyance than anything, but it is a good way to sort of reward the players that are paying more attention to their surroundings. I mean, I can understand the viewpoint where, like, if you genuinely just don't know, what to do in that section, it probably could get rather annoying having to explore or re-explore the Pharaon area just to find the bridge. It could wear itself thin pretty quick if, the forest temple happens to be the last place you check. So yeah, these Twilight encounters are oftentimes pretty trivial. I do think that some of the later ones do get pretty interesting. I mean, from memory, some of them do sort of test you in a sense that you have to kill all of the enemies in a certain order. So yeah, here we go again with the bugs. You could argue that it's a pretty lazy way to give the Twilight sections meaning, but I would say that it does its job well. Bloody Bones. We all know that Bones has more aura than any other character in Twilight Princess, and it's just not up for debate, unfortunately. I need the torch here. Oh. You gotta be kidding me. There we go. I mean, this would all be so different if you were, like, figuring it out for the first time. Like, I mean, all this is just encore for me. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so I think that the Kakariko Twilight makes more of an effort to sort of put all the bugs in more interesting locations. Like the Pharaon Twilight, like pretty much you were going from where you start to the forest temple, and you'd find all the bugs just sort of laid along that path. Kakariko places you in this town, and Link has to find a way to get into most of these buildings. It definitely makes for a more interesting segment than the Pharaon Twilight ever was. So yeah, another use of the fire mechanic here. I suppose you could say that it kind of alludes to this Next dungeon being fire-based. What's going on here? Like, why am I unable to attain fire? There we go. This dungeon specifically has quite a long segment, like, between dungeons. It's longer than most of the in-between sections. So yeah, the bigger issue with this building is finding a way out. I believe we can do like a midnight jump somewhere around here. I forget where. I've actually completely forgotten how to exit this building. What do I actually do? Oh my goodness. Give me a hint. You are of no help. I mean, it couldn't be here. Can't be here. Oh, I could actually. Is this it? Yep. Wow. That is embarrassing, to say the least. Oh yeah, I think I remember the one that's coming up here, where I think this house is going to burn down. Yep, so another situation here. Just having to set fire to this fireplace. So you're given a bit of time to sort of run around here. Ultimately, all you have to do is just crawl out. You know, if you didn't expect to leave the same way you came in, then maybe you would be sort of running around panicking. Or maybe you think that you have to pick up the bugs before you leave. It's another set piece that sort of loses its charm on a second playthrough. Oh, that's it. Okay. So it's a dig spot that did not at all look like a dig spot. That's how they get you. Now we can head to Death Mountain. So I believe that there'll be a howling stone here. This is where you learn those moves, learn those combat techniques. And they obviously bring back songs from Ocarina and Majora, which is obviously quite charming to see. So yeah, I guess kind of unrelated. From what I've been hearing, there's apparently some Ocarina of Time remake thing going around, some leak or whatever. If that is real, that's probably the thing that would get me to purchase a Switch 2. Otherwise, I'm not really too interested in anything that's really on that platform. I don't think Nintendo makes them how they used to, and I just haven't really been interested in what they've been doing for like the last 10 years. But you know what? If they're gonna remake Ocarina from the ground up, you gotta give it a go. You gotta give it a chance, you know? Maybe they stuff it up, but I don't think it's possible to mess up Ocarina of Time. Like, that game is shockingly near perfection. Even if you closely approximate a percentile of what that game accomplishes, you'll be fine, really. Anyway, there's 2 more bugs, and one of them's right here. Okay, this bird's just been a bit of a prick. I'm trying to remember how you get rid of this rock. I have no idea. Maybe you get rid of it from the other side. Oh my god, don't die, bro. Not to these little cunts. There is a non-zero chance that I run out of HP here. Oh shit. Oh, really? Just because I was trying to just take a moment to think. A little bit sad to have the second death, because I will actually keep track of that numerically. That's the second death. Both deaths so far have just been like stupid stuff. Like, not from any actual challenge. There we go. That'll do it for the Elden Twilight. So yeah, as a kid, I would pretty commonly try to bypass the next section, as I always knew that Iron Boots was the next thing that you had to do in the game. What I would do is I would go straight there without activating the sequence, and I would be disappointed to find out that you can't get the Iron Boots until you've actually gone up here and interacted with this Goron. So, you know, you have to try it, and you fail every time, no matter what. No way around it. So I think this is also when the little set piece with the horse occurs. Yeah. So, you know, when you're a kid, you just sort of think of this as a random little moment. But I think that the actual purpose of this is because you wouldn't be able to get Epona otherwise, like, unless this happens. Like, I don't think there are any Epona whistles around, and the gates to Kakariko on both sides of the town are closed at this point in time. So I think that this little moment was just added to give Epona to the player, because it doesn't really have a point otherwise. So yeah, now we have Epona. That allows us to head out. There we go, that's a bit more Wii muscle memory. So yeah, in order to get the Iron Boots, you have to actually play this wrestling minigame. And I was thinking about it before I started recording this. I was really, like, I was thinking about, like, you know, what is this wrestling minigame? Really, like, and I was just thinking about it conceptually, and it kind of reminded me of the mathematical concept of game theory. Obviously, it's not like a one-to-one match, but it just sort of, it gives off sort of a game theory vibe. I mean, I'll be able to show in a second. Yeah, the most famous example of game theory is pretty much there's two parties, and they can either cooperate or defect. And if both cooperate, they both receive 1 point. If you defect and your opponent cooperates, you get 3 points. And then if you both defect, you both get nothing. And it's sort of that game theory sort of strategy where if you both cooperate, you will both see benefit. But if you defect and they cooperate, you will be better off. Now, how does that sort of apply to this minigame? Well, it's a little abstract. It's a little abstract, but I think that it's definitely got the core sort of principles that game theory sort of has. Or maybe I was just misremembering, let's see. So yeah, we can either slap or grab. And you could say that, like, slapping is defecting and grabbing is complying, or I don't know. I mean, most games where you only have 2 options and you're only against one opponent can be sort of abstractly applied to that model. I won't go into it in depth, but I'm certain that there is some way that you can think of it. There we go, so that's the Iron Boots. Nice. So now we just gotta take that trek back to Kakariko. For those who like drawing the parallels between Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time, I would assume that they're quick to point out that, you know, going back to Ordon for the Iron Boots kinda mirrors when you have to go back to Kokiri Forest to get Saria's song in Ocarina. I mean, it's undeniable. It's undeniable the similarities that those games share. But I think that Twilight Princess does do enough to sort of set itself apart. I mean, they're not so similar that Twilight Princess is completely considered an Ocarina remake. Like, that's just not the case. Like, it does enough differently to set itself apart, I would say. I mean, it's the same sort of case when they were going from Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time. Those two games followed very similar structures, which obviously Twilight Princess has again sort of followed the structure of 3 dungeons, a major shift in Hyrule, then another few dungeons, then the final boss. But, you know, between Link to the Past, Ocarina, and Twilight Princess, they're all doing the same sort of concept in 3, I would say, different ways. Now, there's obviously this mini-boss happening, which we'll see if it's any challenge now that I have 1 less heart than the common player would. I'm obviously aiming for spin attacks to maximize DPS. Yeah, horse stamina management is a big fucking part of this one. Wonder if the boomerang helps. Of course not. Holy crap. It might be worth getting rid of these guys first, which I'm sure the boomerang would help there. I mean, the thing is, I was always under the impression that these guys respawn. We'll see. Yeah, they're coming back. Come on, he's close. There we go. Not quite a challenge, but you know, if you're targeting the smaller enemies first, you'll be fine. So now the jousting sequence. Yeah, I don't really know what the 100% effective strategy for this is. I sort of like bait him to the right, and then like quickly shift. Yeah. It's weird. Oh, I don't even have the fucking sword out, dude. Get that shit out, bro. Ow, how do you keep putting it away? I don't get it. Link is genuinely sabotaging me here. There we go. Yep, definitely wanted to turn around again. That's definitely what the inputs were reading. There we go. So from here, we just climb Death Mountain and do the Goron mines. So we do have to indulge in that wrestling minigame once more. I just realized that I forgot to get the new sword scroll when I went back to get the iron boots. That's a bit of a time waste, so I'm gonna have to go all the way back. Alright, here we go. So this should be the shield parry. I don't know if it works like a legitimate parry, but it should. That would have been good. Alright, now I've got the iron bits, so we should pretty easily be able to... Okay. Dude, what do you do, bro? What? I'm pressing the button, I swear. There we go. Get out of here, you asshole. Other thing that I forgot was the Hylian shield, which I believe is 80 rupees. So I should be able to afford it. Not open at night? Alright, I will wait for morning, as I would like the Hylian shield for this next segment. Wouldn't it be funny if I didn't have enough? I thought it was 80. Well, so after all that waiting, I didn't even get the shield. So odds are I'm probably gonna lose the Ordon shield in the Goron mines, and that is a 1 of 1. So once you've lost it, it's gone. Not much of note on this trek through Death Mountain. Oh shit. There we go. So that'll be seeing use with the next Twilight area. Alright, time to do some proper wrestling. Just go for an instant slap, I reckon. You saw it coming? Yeah, honestly, there's not much strategy going on here. Well, there is. You're just kind of hoping that he goes for a grab, you go for a dodge. It's kind of just hope. So you only had to beat him once. And there we go. We now have the dungeon opened. So in the next one, I will go ahead and beat this dungeon.